These Compart Family Farm duroc pork ribs are my favorite barbecue cheat code. And you can apply this across any barbecue meat there is, but starting with the highest quality meat you can find absolutely changes the game. So today, we're gonna cook this rack, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why that is. While we trim these ribs up, I'm gonna tell you a story of how I came across Compart Family Farm ribs. To begin with, I have no affiliation with them other than they are my go-to rib for KCBS competitions. And that's exactly what we're gonna do to these today, is cut them into a KCBS 10-bone rack. I'm going to speak in terms of competition, but you can apply this to whenever you want to serve the absolute top tier barbecue. These things matter. The two big things that I'm looking to accomplish are an incredible tenderness and an incredible taste. Let me tell you that when you compare duroc pork, and that's any brand, I've tried a lot of brands, next to what people refer to as commodity pork, anything you would buy in the grocery store, there is a noticeable flavor difference. All I can say there is it literally tastes more porky, but I'm going to strongly recommend you get some duroc ribs and cook them right next to your regular ribs and see the difference for yourself. But if you look at this Compart Family Farms rib, you can see the marbling within it. You know that fat is going to impart tons of flavor and moisture. With these ribs trimmed up, we're gonna break out my go-to competition secret combo of rubs, mixed up in this inconspicuous shaker bottle. Now, especially in the competition world, flavor can be overcome through a variety of methods. Two of the most popular are brining and injecting. For me personally, when I inject or brine a thin piece of meat like this rib, suddenly the tenderness and texture changes. The fact that I can run these Compart ribs without needing to inject or brine means that not only do I get that duroc flavor I was talking about, but also I get that buttery tenderness on the bone. Now, of course, we're doing these on our Char-Griller Gravity 980 today, and I'm going to throw in 3 pieces of B&B hickory and 1 piece of B&B cherry wood into the ash pan for that smoke combination. Once the rub is sweat and the cooker is up to temp, we're gonna get these ribs straight onto the grate, front to back, straighten them up, scrunch them up, and leave them there for an hour. For the best possible product, I like to rotate these an hour just to ensure an even cook. Also this time, we're gonna go ahead and wipe off any blood that may have came to the top, and I'm gonna go ahead and re-hit this with some rub, especially where I just wiped that off, to make sure we have that great crust on the exterior of these ribs. In 1 more hour, it's time to wrap, but before we go to the foil, look at the top of these ribs. You can see that fat coming out. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can make something moist by spritzing. Simply not the fact. You can't cook moisture into meat. But by spritzing, or in this case, letting the fat render out of the meat and cover the top, we're keeping that convective air from extra drying out that top layer. So because of all that moisture, all the fat that's bubbling out of this, the color is absolutely stunning. And because we didn't have to inject to get all that moisture and flavor in there, I can tell you when I picked them up, they feel like they're already on track to be perfect. So that gives us a lot of wiggle room to do whatever we deem necessary come the wrap time. So my particular method of wrapping involves its own level of voodoo, like this. I mean, who knows what's in this thing? It's bananas, right? Who knows? It could be anything. Of course, you gotta have a little sugar. You're feeling it, maybe add a little bit of rub back. Try to preserve that color. Some fake butter. With sound effects. A little more sugar, because I like sweet ribs. And then a little bit of Cosmos Q apple cherry habanero rib glaze for a little spice. Of course, we didn't even talk about the most important thing of meat side up or meat side down when you wrap, because we know it doesn't matter. Of course it matters, meat side up. And with these gems wrapped up, back onto the cooker to go for about an hour. These have hit temperature, but more than that, it's passing my tenderness check. So I'm gonna put them into a cooler. I like to let them rest for somewhere around 45 minutes. Then it's time to give them a dunk in the wrap juice, sauce them up, and cut them up. If you've never tried Comparts or another premium rib because they're expensive, I understand. I was with you at one point in time. But I want to encourage you, don't let good get in the way of great. Give everything a try. Leave no barbecue stone left unturned. In my experience, these Comparts lived up to and went above the hype. This bite is the ultimate rib. In fact, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm gonna eat this rib because this is what makes me happy. Now click this playlist and let's go talk about what I've learned about this Char-Griller Gravity 980.